Xbox has been no stranger to transparent communication and forward marketing for the new face of the Xbox brand behind the Xbox Series X. Xbox's Phil Spencer sat down yet again with the game's media, fielding difficult questions behind the massive marketing strategy for the Xbox going forward, and some of his answers shocked the world and millions of fans. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for watching. Big news for Xbox has been dropping each week, but this interview with Phil Spencer answers a ton of questions that we have had all year long. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and let's get into Xbox's new strategy. The next generation on Xbox starts November 10th with two totally different consoles, the most powerful X and the more affordable S. It is the Xbox Series S that Phil Spencer gushes over, a $300 console made to serve 1080p and 1440p at 60 frames, and even 120 FPS gaming with next-generation performance, next-generation loading speeds, and all of the features of the bigger Xbox Series X without a disk drive. The towering Xbox Series X will be the holiday big seller, but Phil expects the Series S to sell most overall, and he says, "I think we'll sell every unit of both of them that we can deliver. I think demand is just going to outstrip supply of pre-orders for us and PlayStation. I think that manufacturing supply chain is going to dictate market share more than anything else. But it is the price that drives the market when the product is great," and Phil says of the Series S, "I think over the generation our expectations would be that price really matters and that you would see the Series S sell more." Many are quick to judge the smaller white Xbox Series S as an underpowered holdback for the future of game design, but Phil looks at the Series S with adoration. And he said, "Being honest, the Series S has surprised me in terms of how it performs. I'm not worried. I think we have proof points like we said on PC that show you can get absolutely amazing looking games on great hardware and have those games scale to the hardware capability." Phil pointed to games like the Falconeer that easily perform over 1440p with 1800p 60 as a visual presentation on the Xbox Series S, with super fast load times thanks to this model of the Xbox packaging smaller games with lower resolution textures and game assets compared to the Xbox Series X, which pushes for full 4K games. Xbox has tons of games coming, some 3 times more workload compared to the Xbox One generation. Xbox Game Studios was already packed with new projects, but acquiring Bethesda Studios was an absolute industry-shaking move for the underdog console. Bethesda is hard at work building some half a dozen AAA games like Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and probably Fallout 5, as well as Doom and Wolfenstein, and the first concern from fans and the media is, will Xbox make these games exclusive or share them with PlayStation where they have always been? Kotaku asked Phil directly, "Is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation?" Phil quickly answered, "Yes." And then he added, "I don't want to be flip about that. This deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was, how do we keep other players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to go play games." But I'll also say in the model, I'm just answering directly the question that you had. When I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices that we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means, end quote. Many takeaways born from Phil's fair and balancing act of appeasing two major camps of make games exclusive and please don't. It's PlayStation, not the Xbox, that has historically held games ransom behind a console purchase. But Phil has emphasized that they have far more places and potential customers with Xbox consoles, PC including Steam, and xCloud mobile across smartphones around the planet. This graph, previously used on this channel, illustrates that the market is split between console, PC, and mobile, and Xbox is moving to combine their market in green to reach all. Phil is simply saying that he cannot commit to exclusivity up front while the Bethesda deal is not officially finalized, and Xbox wants to be ubiquitous while not bragging about being the only place to play. But Bethesda games will from now on, with very few exceptions like service-based games like continued support for Fallout 76 and timed exclusives already signed to PlayStation. Bethesda games are exclusive to the Xbox platform that is nearly everywhere to play except on a PlayStation. Phil and Xbox know that in order to attract masses to the ecosystem and to Xbox Game Pass, they need killer first-party games, and no one questioned if Insomniac, after being acquired by PlayStation, would ever put their games on Xbox. This is how acquisitions work. The exception is Minecraft, which was a purchase of an already established IP that was thriving on every single platform. Phil reminded us that there is no draw to Game Pass if most of the games are available on the competing consoles. But Xbox has allowed some second-party IPs to move over to the Nintendo Switch. Phil said, "We have a very good relationship with Nintendo, and we think we see our work very synergistically in terms of trying to grow the market, and it just makes it easy. Every conversation we have had with them has really been easy." This signifies that you'd sooner see Xbox Live and Xbox Game Pass accessible on Nintendo's platform before you'd ever see it allowed on the PlayStation. This further describes how unlikely it is to see Bethesda's next big games, even next year, on a PlayStation console. Phil Spencer closed the question of the exclusives by saying, "It doesn't feel sustainable to consider Xbox games on a case-by-case basis for the Switch. In order to really support it, I would want a full Xbox ecosystem somewhere, and that probably means things like Xbox Live and Game Pass." The other competitive platforms, PlayStation, aren't really that interested in having a full Xbox experience on their hardware, end quote. Xbox has seemingly done everything right this time around for the plan of attack for the Xbox Series S and X, except for the reveal of Halo Infinite and the release being pushed to nearly a year beyond the console launch. Phil Spencer said of Halo Infinite's current status, "No update right now," but he had recently played the build last week, so it's safe to assume that Halo Infinite is not ready for early 2021, but it would likely be framed for holiday 2021 to launch next to the next Wolfenstein game. Kotaku asked if they would be willing to release Halo Infinite segmented like multiplayer first while the campaign is being polished and refined. He said, quote, "Bonnie Ross and the team will go drive those decisions, but I think we would want to make sure people feel like they have a Halo experience. I think we can look at options like that, so yeah, I think that's something to think about, but we want to make sure we do it right," end quote. Releasing parts of Halo Infinite is not the right move for the platform that hasn't launched a major first-party AAA blockbuster in almost a year with Gears 5. Xbox still has a lot to prove, and people are still stinging over the broken Halo Master Chief release. His words, "Want to make sure we do it right," is assuring that all 343 needs is time. Phil Spencer is committed to provide a huge open platform with choice at the center for the player, with 35 teams from 23 studios creating unique and blockbuster games for players on a variety of devices, from Xbox consoles to PC and mobile. He says, quote, "We really think about the number of players that are playing on an Xbox, and that can mean a variety of different devices and the number of games they play and how often they play. That's really the thing that drives us, and we're seeing from that level, we're bigger than we've ever been." This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you to all of you who have supported the channel and made it this far into the video. So if you did, let me know by writing in the comment section 5150. We are literally weeks from next generation, and things are ramping up in a big way for this channel, and I cannot wait to share more soon. I will be extremely busy and trying to provide coverage and enjoyable videos twice a week as long as life allows. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe and hit the bell. Join the channel or Patreon to get early access to new videos and monthly giveaways. Add me on Xbox Live and Twitter at Colteastwood. Hey, have a great week. Get your backlog completed before November because everything is about to start with new games. Stay tuned to the end of the video for a supercut montage I made of games coming to Xbox soon. And as always, be nice.